Hi everybody, Longo here, about to give you a little presentation on how to create a Canvas module for an environment where you might want students to work at their own pace. If you're not really sure what that is, I will give you a little run through. I am in Student View, and here are some of my modules, and I'll give you a little preview with Unit 7. Basically, when you have restrictions on a module so students have to work through something in a certain pace, they can't just click on any link that they want. They must start at the beginning. So for my students, they would land at this first page, which basically is the starting for their Unit 7. And all it does is give them their chapter packet in case they lose the one I give them in class, or the answers to their homework as they move along. After they have viewed this page, they would click Next, and it would take them to the first set of notes and videos leading up to the first quiz. And what the students would need to do here is obviously take notes on all the material until they feel comfortable, and once they're done, they can try to take the quiz. And it would be required of them to take the quiz. And you can set the criteria to whatever you want. My students have to score an 80% or higher on the quiz before the next module will unlock. So, to give you an idea, if they go to take the quiz and they just answer some random questions and get a 0 out of 5, because I'm not going to spend time typing this all in for you, you're going to see that all of a sudden they get a 0 out of 5. And if they try to move on to the next part of the module, it will not let them do that because the page is locked because they did not score an 80% or higher. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about when I say setting up a module where students get to work at their own pace. However, you making sure that they are learning what they need to learn. So the question is, how do we do this? How do we create one? So what you would need to do is go to modules, and I am going to recommend that before you set up a module, you have all of your pages that you're going to want them to visit and quizzes in place. Okay? And to create a module, you would just click this plus module button, and you're going to have to give a new module a name. So I'm just going to call this one Trig 1 because my honor students are about to start Trig Chapter 1. And you would just go and click Add Module. And it'll add it down to the bottom of the page. And what you're going to have to do now is start adding content to your module. So like I recommended, you should have all of the content that you want in there already laid out. It just makes things easier. You can create as you go. You can create something later and add it to the module. It's pretty easy to do. But all you would have to do is click plus, and you're going to add something. Now, you can add, obviously, files, assignments, quizzes. The way my module is going to be laid out is I'm going to have content pages, and you can reorder these as you add them, so you do not have to add them in the order that you need the first try. So I'm going to add another content page. I'm actually just going to add all of my content pages right now and show you how to reorder. And the other thing I also put are my quizzes. So then you would change the content page to quiz, and now you can see all of the quizzes that you have. And you would just click Add Item, and one last time I'm going to add my quiz 2. So now I have all of the material that I need for my module. So to reorder it, I would have my Trig 1 start, and then my first topic is the unit circle, which has all of the notes that I need for that first quiz, and then I would just drag this quiz to underneath that one. Inverse trig comes next, and then I have my second quiz, and then finally I end with my application and review before they take their test. So it's that simple to create a module. Now, the last thing we need to talk about is how do we set prerequisites so they don't just fly through this without learning anything. So what you would do is go click on the gear and choose Edit. Now, you can lock the module until a given date, so if you don't want them working too far in advance, you can slow them down by not unlocking this until a certain timeline. You could make students go through other units before they open this unit. And what I'm going to show you is how to make them go through a certain module in a certain order. And this is where you're going to click the Add Requirement. So the first thing it's going to do is give you what your first requirement will be. And I'm going to make them view the first page where it's just going to give them their homework packet and their homework answers. And you can select View Item or Contribute to this page. Well, this is not a open forum right now, so this is just a page that they need to view and watch any videos. Go to the next Add Requirement, and then you want to change what you want them to do next. So after my students see the first page, I want them to then work on the unit circle material, which is a page that has all of their notes and stuff like that. You can add, an individual page for every day if you want to. And then after that, I'm going to add a quiz. Now, once my students get to the quiz, I'm going to make them score at least an 80%. So if there are 5 questions on the quiz, then I would say that they need to score a 4 out of 5. And if you have 10 questions, and you can set the parameter to anything you want, but I require my students to get at least an 80% on their Canvas quiz before unlocking the next module and before I allow them to take the paper copy of the quiz in my class. And then you would just continue adding your requirements. After my students are done with the first quiz, they move on to inverse trig. And after they're done with inverse trig, I'm going to give them another quiz that they need to score at least an 80% on this, which for me is another 4 out of 5. And then finally, the last requirement is that they view the last page. Now again, there's different types of settings you can have that work best for you. If you do not want to have a page that has every set of notes up into the first quiz, you could make a assignment or content page for each one of those. Okay, and then once you're done, all you have to do is click Update Module. And now you can see that the students must work through at this pace. They must score a 4 out of 5 on this quiz for me. And last step is just click Publish the module, and your students will be ready to work. So that's it, plain and simple. This is Longo, and I'm out. See you, bye.